So who shot him?
He don't know who shot it. He don't know who shot him. He said, I've never seen who shot me.
Things are starting to get dangerous as the beef between Offset and Wack100 keeps getting hotter and louder. And once huge money starts getting tied into the drama, everybody already knows this situation was never going to stay calm for long. This whole mess goes way deeper than people first thought. Every time it looks like the tension finally cooled off, somebody jumps on a podcast, live stream, or social media and throws the drama right back into everybody's face. What started as one wild situation inside QC Studios turned into one of hip-hop's messiest ongoing feuds, and by 2026, things had exploded into claims about missing millions, backdoor industry moves, serious threats, and even a shocking casino shooting that caught people completely off guard. The crazy part is that this all traces back to one chaotic night in Atlanta back in 2019. A single dice game inside Quality Control Studios allegedly sparked years of bad blood, rumors, and non-stop public shots. And somehow, the story just keeps getting bigger every single year instead of fading away. Right in the middle of all this stands Wack100. The loud-talking music manager and co-founder of 100 Entertainment has built a reputation off stepping directly into rap drama and speaking on situations most people would stay far away from. Wack has never been shy about giving his opinion, and whether people respect it or hate it, he always finds a way to keep his name attached to the biggest controversies in the industry. Then on the other side, there's Offset, 1/3 of the legendary Migos and one of the biggest names to ever come out of Atlanta. Ever since Versace changed the rap game, Offset's name has carried major weight. But by 2026, he's found himself constantly defending his name, his money, and his peace over a situation that refuses to disappear. And to really understand why this beef got this intense, you gotta go all the way back to where everything allegedly started. That infamous dice game at Quality Control Studios where every piece of this drama first took root. According to the version of events that's been repeated the most publicly, mainly by Wack100 himself during interviews and on his 100 ENT show, this whole situation started near the end of Lil Baby's tour back in 2019. At that time, 42 Dugg had just signed to Baby's 4PF label under the bigger Quality Control umbrella. So the room was already packed with artists, label people, crews, and close affiliates whose business and personal ties all mixed together. Instead of cooling off after weeks on tour, everybody reportedly linked up inside QC Studios for a high-stakes dice game where huge amounts of cash were moving around fast. And this wasn't some small friendly game either. Wack claimed players were throwing around nearly $5,000 every hand, while side bets made the money pile even crazier. With that much cash, pride, and energy in one room, things were already set up to go left at any moment. Wack also said Blueface was inside the studio that same night, and according to the timeline people have shared online, that was allegedly the night Blueface recorded Bust Down, which later added even more attention to the story because of Wack's business ties with him. Early on, the dice game reportedly stayed competitive, with players winning and losing non-stop as the momentum kept shifting across the room. But according to Wack's retelling, 42 Dugg started the night on fire and was allegedly winning big money, while Offset was reportedly down somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 at one point. In an environment full of major rap names, entourages, ego, and fast money flying everywhere, people now look back at that moment as the beginning of a situation that would slowly spiral into years of tension and public accusations. But anybody who knows street dice knows the whole game can flip in seconds. One minute somebody is winning big, the next minute they're suddenly deep in the hole. And according to the story Wack100 keeps telling, that's exactly what happened that night. The momentum allegedly shifted hard, and 42 Dugg reportedly went from being way up in cash to suddenly owing Offset somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000. That's when the mood inside the studio supposedly changed fast. What had started as a loud, competitive game between rappers and crews allegedly turned tense once real money was on the line and emotions started rising. In those kinds of environments, pride can become just as important as the cash itself, especially when everybody in the room is watching. According to Wack's version, the real problem started when Offset got the dice. In street gambling culture, there's an unwritten rule that you don't grab your money and leave while another player still has action going. The expectation is that everybody stays, lets the round finish, and respects the game. Wack claimed 42 Doug allegedly tried to collect his money and walk away anyway, which instantly turned the situation serious. Wack later described Offset allegedly chasing Doug out of the studio toward the parking lot while tensions exploded outside. He claimed Doug had stacks of cash stuffed in skinny jean pockets so full you could allegedly see the outline of the money. According to Wack's retelling, Offset then allegedly swung on Doug, and a punch connected directly to his jaw before shots were reportedly fired during the chaos, though accounts about exactly what happened next have continued to vary online for years. This is also the part where Wack100 places himself right in the center of the chaos, like the guy who supposedly stopped everything from turning way worse. According to his version of events, both sides allegedly had several people backing them. Tensions were exploding outside the studio, and the situation was getting dangerously out of control. Wack claims he stepped between the crews, pushed Offset back during the confrontation, protected 42 Doug from things escalating further, and personally helped get Doug away from the scene safely. He also said he warned everybody involved that the cameras around QC Studios could create massive problems later if things kept spiraling. Over the years, Wack has repeated one specific line so many times that it practically became attached to the story itself. His claim that if he had not intervened, 42 Doug would have been in the morgue that night. That dramatic statement kept the incident alive online for years, because every time people thought the story was fading away, that quote brought all the attention right back. At the same time, Wack later clarified that no money or jewelry was ultimately taken from 42 Doug, which became a major detail because it pushed back against rumors that the situation was some kind of robbery. But in hip-hop, stories like this almost never stay one-sided for long, and 42 Doug has strongly challenged parts of Wack's version many times. Doug has consistently described the whole thing as nothing more than a heated gambling disagreement that got blown out of proportion online. He repeatedly denied that anybody took money from him, and even publicly swore on his children that his pockets were never touched. Doug also insisted he left the situation with his money still intact, and later pointed out that he eventually got paid what he was owed anyway. So while Wack keeps telling the story like he prevented a disaster, Doug has continued trying to downplay the entire situation and reject the more extreme claims connected to that night. 42. Doug didn't just deny parts of the story. He also went directly at Wack100 himself. Doug brushed Wack off as an old lame, trying to hype up old drama, basically accusing him of stretching the story bigger than it really was just to keep attention on himself. And Doug wasn't the only person pushing back either. Sada Baby, who was reportedly there during the incident, later gave his own version of what happened, and his account also challenged the idea that things turned into some major robbery or near-deadly situation. According to Sada, if things had truly crossed that line, he would have stepped in for Doug immediately, which suggested he didn't view the situation as seriously as Wack later described it online. That added even more confusion because now, multiple people connected to the night were publicly telling very different versions of the same event. Offset also mostly avoided getting into every little detail publicly, but he still pushed back against the core accusations tied to the story. He denied claims about running pockets the way Wack repeatedly described, and clearly became frustrated with how often the incident kept getting brought back up years later. And that's really where the current beef fully started growing, because the original Dice game alone probably would have faded away like countless other rap stories from behind closed doors. Usually these kinds of incidents get mentioned a couple times on podcasts, trend online for a few days, and then disappear once the next controversy shows up. But Wack100 kept revisiting the story again and again on different platforms, interviews, live streams, and podcasts. One of the biggest moments came during his detailed Vlad TV interview, where he broke down the events almost step by step with so much detail that people online started debating whether he was exposing too much or intentionally keeping old wounds open for attention. And every time the story resurfaced, the tension between Wack and Offset only got worse. The story kept coming back over and over again as leaked messages and online screenshots allegedly showed Wack100 arguing privately with both Offset and 42 Doug about what really happened that night. Every few months, another version of the story would start trending, and somebody involved would jump online calling cap on whatever details were spreading around at the time. Things got especially loud again in early 2024 when old comments from Wack suddenly went viral all over social media, dragging the QC Dice game drama right back into public conversation. That sparked fresh reactions from fans, bloggers, podcasters, and even people close to the artists involved. Offset reportedly became more frustrated as the story kept resurfacing, while Doug once again found himself connected to an incident he had already tried to move past years earlier. But by early 2026, the tension allegedly reached a completely different level because Offset reportedly stopped being quiet about how he felt regarding Wack100. Reports started spreading online, claiming Offset directly accused Wack of business moves that allegedly cost him millions behind the scenes. People close to Offset pointed towards certain financial decisions and industry deals that supposedly benefited Wack while leaving Offset on the losing end. Unlike subtle rap lyrics or hidden dices, these accusations reportedly came out much more direct and quickly exploded across blogs, live streams, and hip-hop media pages. Many fans felt the frustration had probably been building for years before finally boiling over publicly. Around the same time, people also started revisiting Offset's older appearance on Club Shay Shay, where he spoke openly about how young artists can get trapped in bad contracts and industry deals without fully understanding what they're signing. Offset explained how huge upfront money can sometimes blind artists from seeing the long-term consequences hidden inside complicated agreements. And once people connected those comments to the growing Wack situation, the entire beef suddenly started looking much deeper than just an old dice game story. Offset explained that a lot of those huge music industry advances are really just loans dressed up to look glamorous. He talked about labels handing artists massive checks worth millions of dollars, making it seem like life-changing money up front, while quietly planning to make every single dollar back through album sales, streaming numbers, touring revenue, and other income tied to the artist. According to Offset, many artists later realized they're still financially tied down even after becoming successful because the label keeps recouping money from nearly everything they earn. He described situations where labels could allegedly make $2 or $3 million shortly after an album drops, while the artist sees far less than people would expect because of hidden expenses, contract terms, and deductions built into the deal. That reality shocked a lot of fans because from the outside, successful rappers often look rich long before they're actually free financially. One of the biggest points Offset made was about ownership and control over music rights, which he described in simple terms that instantly connected with people online. He explained it like somebody telling a young artist, "You got a hot song, let me give you $2 million, but I'm gonna own you." That single statement summed up how many artists later discover their masters, publishing rights, and long-term leverage no longer belong to them after signing deals too quickly. Offset also pointed out that young artists chasing their dreams don't always fully understand the complicated paperwork placed in front of them, especially when they're dealing with long contracts packed with legal language and pressure from the industry around them. He suggested that some lawyers and executives fail to properly explain the fine print before artists sign away major control over their careers. And once fans connected those industry complaints to Offset's public frustration toward Wack100 in 2026, people started viewing the entire situation through a much bigger lens than just rap beef or internet drama. People online quickly started connecting Offset's comments from Club Shay Shay to the direct shots he was now taking at Wack100. The conversation shifted toward accusations about unfair contracts, messy money splits, publishing issues, and what many insiders describe as industry finesse tactics. Around that same time, clips and social media posts started spreading that showed Offset sounding seriously frustrated while warning younger artists to be extremely careful about who they do business with. He reportedly made it clear that he felt certain people in the industry benefited from his success in ways he didn't fully understand at the time. Fans immediately started tying those comments back to Wack because the tension between them had already been building publicly for years through interviews, live streams, and constant back-and-forth online drama. Part of why the accusations gained so much attention is because critics have previously raised questions about some of Wack100's business relationships with other artists too. One of the biggest examples people pointed toward involved Blueface, whose business arrangements have been heavily debated across hip-hop media for a long time. DJ academics and several online commentators discussed claims that Wack allegedly held multiple positions around Blueface's career at the same time, including management and label involvement, which critics argued could heavily favor the business side over the artist. According to those discussions, the structure allegedly allowed large percentages of earnings to be collected through different layers of the deal. People online broke it down by claiming the label side could reportedly take a major cut first, while management percentages were then allegedly applied afterward, leaving the artist with far less than fans might expect once streaming revenue, shows, features, merch, and other income sources were divided up. Those conversations became a huge part of why Offset's accusations against Wack spread so fast, because many fans already viewed the industry as a place where artists can easily lose control of both their money and ownership if they aren't careful. DJ Academics and several other hip-hop voices have repeatedly pointed at these kinds of business setups as possible conflicts of interest, especially when one person allegedly controls both management and label responsibilities at the same time. Critics argue that once you really break down the percentages and follow the money, it can leave artists with way less control and profit than people realize. Offset himself has not publicly filed a lawsuit against Wack100 over the alleged missing millions, and there's currently no official court case laying out a detailed contract dispute tied to these accusations. But even without legal paperwork, the claims still gain huge traction online because many fans feel the situation matches long-running complaints artists have made for years about confusing contracts, ownership issues, and powerful industry figures controlling too many sides of the business at once. And the drama only gets messier once personal relationships start getting mixed into everything too. A lot of people also brought up Wack's longtime connection to Cardi B, which existed before Offset was even part of the picture. That connection became part of the conversation once more public drama involving Blueface and Cressy and Rock started spilling across social media. Wack denied being behind any effort to expose damaging information and claimed he actually held certain things back out of respect for Cardi. But despite those denials, reports claimed Offset still blamed him for adding to the chaos surrounding his personal life, which only pushed the tension between them even further. At the same time, Wack continued defending himself publicly, saying his management cuts and business practices were standard for the industry. He argued that he handles major responsibilities behind the scenes like tour routing, merchandise operations, and business logistics, and he strongly rejected accusations suggesting he was stealing from artists. Wack consistently presented himself as an experienced industry insider who understands how the music business really works behind closed doors. But ironically, that same image is also what keeps putting him under heavy scrutiny every time another artist speaks out or another controversy starts trending online. And now the situation has grown way beyond just old podcast stories or arguments over contracts. What started as a tense dice game years ago somehow evolved into accusations about money, loyalty, industry politics, personal relationships, and even violence connected to people surrounding the situation. Every new headline seems to pull pieces of this feud back into the spotlight, whether it's gambling rumors, business disputes, online call-outs, or incidents tied to street tensions around the artists involved. That's why so many people believe this beef still hasn't truly reached its final chapter yet. In hip-hop, old grudges rarely stay buried forever, especially when millions of dollars, public pride, and personal betrayal all get mixed together in the same story. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into the biggest stories in hip-hop. Drop a comment below and let everybody know whose side you think is telling the real story here. And don't forget to share this video with somebody who's been following all this drama too.